All right, let's jump right in. Today we're exploring a story about a monumental task, a mission set at the very, very end of an era, passed down from one incredible being to another. It's really a story about a promise that was made to last for ages.
You know, you'd think that after an entire lifetime of teaching, of guiding countless souls, a Buddha's work would be totally done, right? But as his time was coming to an end, there was this one profound concern that just lingered. So what could possibly be left to worry about?
It all came down to the ones who just hadn't quite gotten the message, the ones who were still struggling, still caught up, the ones who, for whatever reason, were still stuck.
Okay, so let's really get into this. This wasn't some small, forgotten detail. No, this was a huge challenge right at the very heart of his entire life's work. The big question was, how do you make absolutely sure that no one, not a single person, gets forgotten?
And what's just so striking here is the sheer scale of the problem. This isn't just about a few people here and there. We're talking about 10, maybe 20% of everyone. That's a huge number of beings who, even with all the best guidance in the world, just couldn't break free. This was the Buddha's final, unresolved issue.
And this is where the story really takes a turn. See, this lingering worry wasn't just left to fate. It was transformed into a sacred duty, a cosmic-level mission that had to be entrusted to a successor.
There's a specific word for this, butchuk. Now, this is so much more than just asking for a favor. Think of it like the ultimate handover, a sacred charge that carries the weight of worlds, a final, deeply earnest plea to see the mission all the way through to the end. So who was chosen for this unbelievable task? It was the Bodhisattva Kṣitigarbha. They were officially named the ambassador of the Buddha, the one who would act on his behalf in the world long after he was gone.
And get this, the timescale for this mission is just mind-boggling. It starts right now with the Entrustment. Then it has to span this vast, almost immeasurable era in between Buddhas. And it only finally wraps up when the next Buddha, Maitreya, arrives in the far, far distant future. We are literally talking about a responsibility that lasts for eons.
So why was this mission so incredibly difficult? I mean, why couldn't the Buddha just finish it himself? Well, the answer really lies in the students themselves and just how different they all were.
There's this key concept called yungi, which basically translates to spiritual capacity. It's a simple but profound idea. Not everyone learns the same way or at the same speed. People just have different levels of readiness, a different aptitude for hearing and actually accepting these deep truths. And this idea gets broken down into 4 main types, which actually make a ton of sense when you put them in modern terms. First, you've got the quick study. This is the person who hears a big idea once, and boom, they just get it. Then there are the folks who need a bit of positive reinforcement to get there. Next up, you have the group that needs a lot more patience, a lot of repetition, just slow, steady guidance. And then you have the ones with that deep-seated resistance, the ones who just don't seem to listen no matter what.
There's this incredibly powerful Tibetan metaphor that just perfectly captures the challenge with that last group. They're like an upside-down pot. It doesn't matter how pure the wisdom you're pouring is, if the pot isn't turned the right way up, not a single drop is getting in. And that right there is the core of Kṣitigarbha's mission.
So, it's pretty clear, right? If you're dealing with such a massive spectrum of learners, a one-size-fits-all teaching method is just never going to work. The solution has to be every bit as diverse as the problem. So, what's the plan? What's the strategy here? How in the world can one being connect with absolutely everyone, from the fastest learner to the most profoundly resistant soul? The answer is a concept called Huayan, which means infinite manifestations. Kṣitigarbha was given this incredible ability to appear in any form, absolutely any form necessary, to reach someone, to become whatever that person needed to see and hear to finally understand. And the sheer range of these forms is just wild. Kṣitigarbha could show up as a powerful king or a humble monk, as a man or a woman, a celestial dragon, or, and this is where it gets really amazing, as a mountain, a forest, a river, or even a well. The form could be literally anything as long as it had a chance of helping someone.
So let's peel back the layers here. What's the deeper meaning of all this? Because this isn't just some cool story about cosmic powers. It's a really profound statement about the true nature of compassion.
Now this is so important to get. This system of Gunji, these different capacities, it's not about judging people. It's not a way to label people as good or bad. It is the exact opposite of that. It's a framework for what you could call customized compassion. It's about recognizing that everybody's in a different place, and because of that, everyone needs a different kind of help.
And what's really fascinating is how we can translate this into our modern world, into our understanding of psychology. That upside-down pot, that state of so-called heavy karma, you can totally see it as a metaphor for deep psychological trauma, or for the kind of powerful cognitive biases that literally stop a person from being open to anything new.
And what this means practically is that for someone in that state, you don't lead with complicated lessons or abstract ideas. You have to start with emotional healing. You offer safety, kindness, compassion first. It's amazing, really. This ancient story basically lays out the principles of trauma-informed care and personalized learning. It argues that you have to turn the pot right side up. You have to address the emotional blockage before you can even think about pouring anything in.
And there's this one last part that's just so beautiful. It's how this compassion extends even to the one doing the helping. The story says the Buddha would touch the foreheads of Kṣitigarbha's many forms. It's this incredible acknowledgement that even a divine being on a cosmic mission can get exhausted, that the tireless, endless work of helping others takes a toll, and it requires its own kind of comfort and healing.
So that's where we'll leave it, with this final thought. This story tells us that help can show up in any form imaginable, not just from a person, but from nature, from a moment of quiet, from some totally unexpected place. And it leaves us with a question to ponder. If infinite compassion were trying to reach you, right now, in the exact form you most need, what would that look like?